Hello again. Today I thought we'd take a look at some of the play features on PhatPhish. Now PhatPhish, as we've seen in some of the other tutorials here, you can use it just to see what a scale looks like on the guitar neck. But if you've got your speakers plugged in, then you can hear what the scales sound like as well. Start off with the most basic way of playing, and that's just to go into plectrum mode. Now there's a little button down here with a picture of a plectrum on it. If you click on that, when you move your mouse over the fingerboard, you'll see that the mouse turns into a little plectrum shape, and if you click on any of the notes, it'll play the note for you as you click on the note marker. Okay, so that's nice and straightforward. Useful if you just want to hear a particular pattern out of a scale. What else you can do though is you can actually play some standard patterns through. So we'll just come out of plectrum mode there now, and we've got a little list here which allows us to decide what it is we're going to play. So here we've got the basic scale, riff-a-rama, which is a little pattern, classic patterns. These are some, there's, as well as the standard scales here, there's some other ones that I've built for myself using the riff builder feature in PhatPhish, which I'll probably do another tutorial on at some point in the future. So just pick a pattern here, start to sound the basic scale. I'm going to click on the little speaker icon. PhatPhish will play that through, as I've asked for, ascending in 1 octave. Now I've got some options there. I can do ascending 1 octave, descending 1 octave, ascending over 2 octaves, or descending over 2 octaves. So like ascending over 2 octaves and hit play. So there you go, plays that scale over 2 octaves. What else we can do on here? We can put it into a loop. So say you're wanting to just practice, practice a pattern through, put it onto loop. Just tick that box there, and then click on the speaker icon to play. So that'll just loop through until you click on the speaker icon again to stop it from playing through. Okay, so those are the options that you've got just off the bottom right hand corner of the dialog there. We'll go off the play menu now. Some similar options. We can also control what octave you start playing in. The default here is 4, so it's kind of the sort of octave you generally be playing around on a guitar. Speed, basically these are the standard sort of music tempos, so by default it plays at a fairly moderate tempo. If we go to something a bit faster, like presto, and hit play, as you can hear that's a little bit faster than what we heard when playing it on moderate. We can also go to a custom speed, which I'll show you a little bit more about in a moment. And we can also from that menu decide if we want to play in a loop or not. Basically it does the same as that checkbox there. Okay, so from this menu we can pick the sort of thing that we want to play. So this little riff-a-rama pattern, so it should sound familiar to you. It's a little 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6 sort of pattern to the scale. Okay, so if we click on options and then play settings, I get this dialog comes up. This allows us to control some of the ways that PhatPhish plays back. Some of these we saw before on that play menu. Octave, this just allows us to control what octave PhatPhish starts playing the scales in. So by default it's 4. Just knock it down, set 3, hit OK, and now play a scale through. As you can hear, that's a bit lower than it was before. Useful if you're playing a bass guitar and you want to knock it down a little bit to something that's closer to the way your instrument normally sounds, then you've got the control to do that in this this setting here. We saw before on the play menu some standard speeds for playing scales and patterns. There was also a custom option. This basically is that custom option where we can go and, rather than selecting a predefined like Allegro, Moderato, Log or whatever, we can pick a particular number of beats per minute that we want to play the scales at. So everything from 40 beats a minute, which is really very slow, right the way up to 208 beats a minute, which is very fast. Got the option down here to play straight scales as either whole notes, half notes or quarter notes. What this is for, when you're playing the scales through, if you've got it set as a semi-brief pattern, it'll play it whereby each note is played as a whole note on a 60 beat per minute type of pattern. Have it just set to a half note, it'll be twice as fast. Quarter note, be twice as fast again. I'll show you what I mean. So this is set at 60 beats a minute, and whole notes play the scale. Now if I go back to that menu, that option there, say set it to quarter notes, okay, and play it again. And here it's a bit faster there. Percussion, this allows us to set the way the percussion sounds when we're playing any custom patterns. There's a feature in PhatPhish called the riff builder where you can build up your own patterns to play against. When you play those, you actually get a rhythm pattern for you get an on beat at the start of each beat, and then an off beat sound on the other notes. What we can do, I'll just set this on the on beat only with a snare drum and play this pattern here, which is one I've created already. Okay, so there you should have heard we had the percussion starting, and that pattern was based around groups of 3 notes. So on the on beat, the first note of every pattern, we had that snare drum sounding. If we go back to that option again and I say I want full percussion, so here we've got the snare drum on the on beat, but on the off beat we'll have a closed hi-hat. Play that again, you should be able to hear the difference. So there on the on beat you could hear it playing a snare drum, and on the off beat you could hear it playing the hi-hat sound. Just to give you a bit of reference for where you are with regard to the rhythm. Back to the player settings menu there. So we've got a whole selection of different percussive sounds that we can put on the different on the on beat or the off beat, different sounds. So you can just pick whatever one of those you want to hear. If you click on the little speaker icon, you'll get an audio preview. A little bit quiet on my speakers, I don't think, maybe it's the microphone's picking it up, but you will hear that. You can hear a preview there. Okay, so that's an introduction to the controlling the way that PhatPhish plays things back. So there's quite a lot maybe to talk about on building up the patterns that we can play here. PhatPhish comes as standard with some patterns like the straight scales and like the riff arrangements, but there is a tool in PhatPhish called the riff builder, which you might have experimented with already. I'll do another tutorial on that at some point, showing you how you can build up your own practice patterns. Okay, so hopefully you found that useful, and hope you continue to get use out of PhatPhish and find it helpful. I'll catch up with you in another video sometime soon. Bye for now.